Thank you all so much for joining us and being with us on today's panel. Thank you and welcome back to our viewers who are, of course, with us on this special We Women Want Conclave 2024 organized by ITV Network. अब हम बात करेंगे उस एक चीज़ के बारे में जो हर इंसान की ज़िंदगी में अगर वो खुशनसीब है तो एक बार होती है शादी. जी हाँ, weddings are, of course, it's almost wedding season. So it's that time of the year now. It is, of course, the big fat Indian wedding. We are going to talk about that with our panel today. The big fat Indian wedding is not just the talk, of course, of South Asia. It's a talk of the world. We've seen, of course, biggies from Hollywood come to India to get married. We're, of course, seeing foreigners come, to different locations, of course, in India. And even Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given the call of Wed in India. So we are now going to be discussing about that, and we're covering all aspects. We've got, of course, the makeup and hair covered. We've got the outfits covered, and we've got the planning covered. So if you want to book our panel right now, you can also right away to our viewers. Okay, but on a more serious note now, let's just talk a bit about how you've seen the wedding in India evolve. And Mandakini, I'll begin with you first, over the years.
Thank you for having me here. Well, I would like to correct Uday once also. If you are lucky, you can get married more than once also now, I feel.
Depends how you look at it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe they are very lucky. Yeah, so about your question, how the wedding has changed in India over the time of year. Now, I've been into this business over a decade, and I've seen that the women today are more sensible, and they know what they want. And not just women for that matter, the whole picture of the wedding has changed. Of course, there are big fat weddings, but there are all forms of weddings in India now. They're talking about sustainability. They are talking about how to spend their money. They are breaking a lot of barriers and old rituals and a lot of things which they are not comfortable with. Of course, keeping in mind without hurting anyone's sentiments, but the wedding, especially in India, it has changed a lot over the time. What we are seeing and doing right now as planners and as fashion designers and makeup artists, we are reinventing a lot of creative and innovative ideas.
That same question to you, Shraddha, because you're also, of course, you've been in the industry for a while now. How have you seen the industry evolve, and how have you seen the wedding scale and generally the experience evolve over the years?
So earlier on, the wedding was basically just fixed, and the parents or the elders, the Tayaji joint family system, they would be making all the decisions, and the couple was not really given so much importance as per like what they wish for, how they want to, have the ceremony, or what they really want from the wedding. But now it's changed in a way that the bride has a say, the groom has a say. They decide on the guest list. They decide on how they want to do their functions. So a lot of that aspect has changed, that the younger generation or the actual person who's getting married has actually been given a say finally. And also the scale. Earlier on, it was just that you invite the whole world, right? Like it was the status symbol to have like everyone for the wedding. Now it's more of a personal experience. Now it's more about who cares about you, who is important to you, who you would like to have on your special day. Of course, there's still like the big fat weddings, and there's still a lot of people who get invited, but that is also now a choice. It's not a compulsion. It is a personal choice that, okay, I want XYZ at my wedding, and I don't want them. Like, it's fine if they are related to my grandmother in some manner, but I've probably met them once or maybe never met them also, so they don't have to be there on my special day. Whoever is important to me needs to be there, right? So a lot of that shift has been seen now.
Okay. Let me take that to Tanya as well. Tanya, just speaking, of course, now about, for you as a designer, how have you had to adapt to this changing market? The fact, obviously, that budgets for clothes are increasing. Are designers also changing the way they do outfits then, and obviously changing the way you plan for such occasions? For you, how have you also seen the wedding industry evolve from a fashion point of view?
First of all, thank you for having me here. It's a beautiful evening. Well, as a brand, Danya Kanuja caters to, modern, well-traveled women who seeks more than just fleeting trends. We believe, the brand believes in creating pieces which are versatile, timeless, at the same time has the potential to be a legacy. Just like our grandmother saris, how we cherish them. And we're designing for an era where women are rewriting the narratives. And their clothing should also be a reflection of that journey. I feel the modern brides today are very mindful. They don't want to buy those heavy lehengas where, they just wear it and dump it. They're very mindful in terms of repurposing it. They should be able to wear it for other events in the future. And we proudly develop pieces which are not only statement and structured, but also lightweight in its appeal, because, like you've rightly said, the bride wants to celebrate her own occasion today. It's her own story, which she wants to celebrate, at the same time carry it to her future generation. And yes, just, modern women need to be very mindful so that we take this legacy also ahead, just like our grandmother's saris. We need to cherish the saris and the modern woman wardrobe, and the future generation to also be able to celebrate that. And this is what, yeah.
Have you seen brides also change in the way they want to look on their big day, from, say, a traditional look to a modern yet traditional, to some who just want modern? Have you seen those looks change, evolve?
That has drastically changed over a decade now. And being versatile is a strong approach these days for the brides to be, where they need to embrace, and they are embracing who they are, their own personalities, and that's what they want in their wardrobe. And that has drastically changed also because of the number of celebrations we have, like a bridal shower and engagement ceremonies, where the bride is equally doing the bhangra as much as the other guest in the party. So a functionality of a garment is very important for today's bride, where she can enjoy her moment, at the same time restyle it for future. It's very mindful and it's a very sustainable approach.
Manleen Puri, let me quickly draw you in here as well. On your perspective on this, how have you seen weddings evolve, change from a makeup perspective? And for you, have you also seen now looks changing? The way a bride wants to look on a particular day. She wants to look her best, of course, but the way she wants to look the best. Have you seen that also change?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, firstly, for having me here. So, the entire purpose of wedding earlier used to be, it was like a family thing where everything was planned by the family. Eventually, with time, there has been, a lot of changes in terms of how people want to see their own weddings. So now, ultimately, the decision maker is not the mother of the bride, it is the bride. So that we've seen change. Pehle parents ke phone aate the and they used to book, for the weddings. Now it's eventually the bride. And there is, there are artists in abundance. So it's not a rat race anymore. Like, so if somebody's, doing good, everybody's running after that person. It's ultimately the decision of the bride. And in terms of look, if you may say, pehle na bahut pota pati hoti thi makeup mein. Now it's more of a subtle look. Less is more, and it's actually a very right saying, because the more you do, I think it just doesn't make sense anymore these days. So the less makeup you wear, the more brighter and more glamorous you look these days. So that eventually has changed. There's no more glitter happening, and so it's become very subtle, very
Also,
nice.
how much is social media impacting brides' choices? You are also a content creator.
Yeah.
We see your reels and your videos on social media. How much has social media also changed brides' perspectives and attendees' perspectives as well?
See,
When it comes to looking a certain way.
it has taken over a lot of minds these days, because eventually what's selling on social media, people are definitely running after that. But, I think your work speaks for yourself, and eventually if you are posting something which you aren't doing on social media, it will come out someday. So not everything on social media is true. The true story lies outside of social media, but definitely it plays on people's mind, and they do run after a lot of things what's podcasted on social media. So yes, it is there, and that's how.
We had a content creators panel as well earlier in the day, and it was titled "Living Life Through Filters."
Yeah.
Because often it's just filters
It is.
on social media.
It
You
is.
said a very interesting thing. Okay, Tanya, let me get you in here because you've also recently showcased in Paris. You got a lot of appreciation there, and you're catering to that market as well. And that's a market that even PM is speaking about attracting to India for weddings. So, firstly, how was the response for your outfits there? And what is as far as, of course, the international market is concerned as well, what is their perspective of Indian fashion and also, Indian couture?
Well, it's been an exceptional experience. It's been my 16th season during the Paris Fashion Week.
Amazing. Some people showcase just once in Paris. She's showcased 16 times. Let's have an applause for her.
Yes, coming to your first question, which is, like we're talking about the digital media here, it had over the decades played major role in terms of educating the clients. When we initially launched, that time I used to hear a lot from my runway shows that it's, very futuristic, we love the work, but we don't know where to wear. And now it's the first Instagram story goes out from our Paris look. We'll have clients, calling the store, when is it coming? And so, work has been, we can see women adapting, experimenting over the decades. And because of the social media, I would also say that it has educated people a lot. Instantly, we all know what's going on around the world. And it wasn't the case, in fact, it wasn't the case even 13 years, 15 years back, so it used to be in Europe and then Canada, then a couple of years later, it used to come down to India, the fashion. But now I think fashion is very global now. What you would have someone wearing in Europe, at the same time, women are wearing here in India, so.
Let me take that to you, Shraddha. Destination wedding versus at-home wedding. What is the trend now? Beach mein destination wedding chal pada tha, fir at-home wedding ho gaya. It keeps changing. Yesterday, I was just speaking to Ranbir Kapoor, who turned dulha on the ramp in Delhi, and he said, "Meri to ghar wali shaadi thi." So this is a completely different experience for me. So ghar wali shaadi ki destination abroad. What is the trend these days? It keeps changing.
It does keep changing, but it is a completely personal choice, right? Like, I prefer a home wedding. I had a home wedding and I had like good 7 functions. But on the other hand, my brother really wanted a destination wedding because he wanted that small, intimate thing. And like, I don't want so many people. He is a complete, I don't want this, I don't want that. Like, just do it simple, And I was a complete, I want a big fat Punjabi wedding. So it only depends on the couple. It depends on what you want. It depends on how well organized you are. Like, I'm a wedding planner. I've seen so many weddings, right? But personally, if I see the main family doesn't really get to enjoy the destination wedding. To be honest, you are just running, you get ready, then you go back, you get ready again for the next function. It's like a complete rat race. There's no time to like relax. You're not really enjoying it. But yes, for the guests, the experience is great. Like, you are at a different resort, you're having fun, you're chilling, you have all your relatives, you have your friends. But as a personal choice given to me, I would say that I want a home wedding because that way I get to enjoy the wedding. In a destination wedding, there's the guests really enjoy.
When a wedding planner says she herself had a at-home wedding, I think that says a lot as well. Okay, Mandakini, same question to you. Destination weddings or at-home weddings? And now we are going to end because we've run out of time, but we are going to end with something very interesting. So I want one, of course, destination versus you'll answer that first at home, but then also you have to tell us one short story of the most interesting or bizarre or worst experience you've had at a wedding while planning.
Oh my God. Okay. To answer your first question, I think now India has become one of the best destinations as well. Like talk about the Ambani wedding, we've got Jamnagar on the world map. And like we just had a session about these heritage Havelis, how they have opened up for weddings. India is totally equipped and full-fledged on power for having destination wedding. I don't see Indian couples, or for that matter, even foreigners, to go out of India to have a destination wedding. And as a planner, yes, it helps us also to bring our Indian culture worldwide and to show them what we all are about. And it's a very fun thing, you know, to have these cross-culture weddings, to have destination wedding in India and outside as well. Keeping in mind, obviously, yes, our Indian rituals, everything. All of us who are here, the designers, the makeup artists, the planners, we still hold that essence, you know, the whole holding Indian culture. And in all our field, I think I've been hearing all the session also. We have tried to bring that forward.
Yes, very nice.
Yes.
Promoting of Indian
So
culture.
yeah, and proud to be obviously Indian women.
One
to
story
do
now.
that.
You can't. We can't leave you with it.
Okay. Talking about the bizarre, I can't say, but one of the most fun wedding which I did last year was the bride was from Taiwan and the groom was an Indian. We did that wedding here in Delhi. And one of the Taiwanese culture is the lion dancers. Which is a part of their wedding culture. And we had done both rituals. There was an Indian fera, but before that we wanted to, the bride and the family wanted to have those lion dancers. So we arranged those lion dancers. They are from Kolkata. They are here in India. And that was one of an experience to have that happening, you know, in a farmhouse in Delhi and lions jumping everywhere. So these cross-culture weddings and these are very good.
Oh, I've had a lot. Like, I think every wedding is so different and every wedding is so unique. And like touch wood, I've been blessed with really great clients, you know, and I've had such good experiences. And yeah, cross-culture weddings are a lot of fun. Like I've had an Assamese and a South Indian wedding. So it started at like 6 in the morning and, you know, we had like so many different rituals, some which I had never even heard of. So, you know, to organize all those little things and to like put in cane baskets and decor because that was like home to the Assamese bride, to have like a South Indian sit-down, you know, lunch. That was
we
like
saw it in the movie Two States, but you've seen it, of course, in real life. Yes, we're out of time. I think you want to add something to that. Tanya.
Yes, I think like you had rightly put, that there's so much of creativity within India that as an industry we should encourage our clients to, you know, destination means it could be anywhere in India. If you're from Delhi, you could just host something in Goa or Udaipur. That's what's been happening. I think the conscious approach towards organizing weddings is also that our money stays in our country. Because we have so much of creativity and excellence. If you see it, even when you were talking about how fashion has changed, or globally for Indians, is from past so many years, we were just job makers. We were just doing embroideries and sending out to international brands who were just, you know, plaguing onto their own garments and selling under their own brands. And how Indian creativity and Indian craftsmanship and Indian designers have been appreciated over the couple of years. It's sky's the limit for all of us.
But amazing. And you've been doing that yourself in Paris, showcasing, as she said, 16 times there. And Manleen, of course, is making us very proud in the makeup space, and so are both of you. And let's hope that Wed in India, as you spoke about, you know, takes off much more in the next days. Okay, we've run out of time because we have more successful women who are also joining us, who we'll be celebrating as we have through the day. Thank you all very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Right, and before we let you go, a small token of appreciation. Of course, there you have it, Shraddha Malhotra, Mandar.